Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and welcome to one of the most requested videos I've had in the last couple months. Y'all want to know the tea on the new Fenty concealer, the powders, all the good things, and guys, that's what we are here to talk about today. I'm super excited because as you guys know, I love recently doing videos on concealer. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like there are so many concealers and powders dropping, and I love exploring them and diving into them and seeing if they're really worth it. So that's what we're going to do today with the Fenty concealer. Now, if you're wondering, Paige, you're talking about concealer and powder. Where's your foundation? Guys, I cannot do a foundation and then wait a half hour and do concealer. It just does not work. My skin does not like it. So we're going to be adding all of that here shortly. But before I dive into my foundation, I wanted to read what it said in the concealer section on the Fenty Beauty website. The FentyBeauty.com is where I picked up all of these products today. And it says under the Give It To Me Quick section that this is a creamy, long-wear, crease-proof liquid concealer that delivers light as air, medium to full coverage in a groundbreaking range of 50 easy to shop soft matte shades. And I'm really excited for a couple of different reasons. I did pick that up, but I also picked up one of my favorite sponges in the entire world, the Fenty Beauty sponge. I bought myself another one, guys. Those sponges are so good. But I did want to also grab these little precision makeup sponge duos, and I had to pick them up because I love the original sponge so much that I was like, we have to know if these are any good. So it says here, triple edge sponge for targeted coverage, dual ended sponge with velvety end for effortless setting. So I guess you can use one for blending, one for setting. I don't know. They're not wet yet for that reason because I didn't know how long all of this was going to take. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to add some foundation and prepare. I'm going to go get these wet. I'm going to double check on the website, make sure they're supposed to be used wet because I don't want to screw that up. And I'll be right back in time to conceal my life away. Okay, so I went ahead, I got some foundation on, and I actually went in with my Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere foundation. This is in 1N1 Creme. And do I look a little yellow to anybody else? I feel like I don't remember it looking this yellow, but like, that's how yellow it is. That's what I was working off of. And I just feel like I look real damn yellow. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the moment I'm having. But nonetheless, it is time for some concealer, and I'm so excited. This is obviously the new Fenty concealer, and I have the shade 100, which I think was the lightest shade they launched. So it's going to be real light because, girl, 50 shades. Yes, Fenty. 50 shades. You're a queen. Thank you for shade ranges. Okay, so along with this concealer, I also have these two sponges, which I didn't show you them before, but y'all, they doubled in size. I'm like, okay. According to what I read on the website, this is the little triple-sided, so it has a flat edge here, a slanted edge, and then this pointed edge. So they call that, I think, the triple edge. Over here has just the one slant, but then it has this fuzzy butt, and this is for setting powder. So I did wet both. We're gonna set him aside, and we're gonna use this one right now. And hopefully it's good. Both of these come in a pack for $18, which I'm a little like, girl, that's a lot of money for two damn sponges that are only for like one area of your face. Like, that's kind of expensive when you can use like a regular beauty sponge to literally do all the same stuff. But that's okay. I had to test them out. I had to see if they were any good because they are hailing from the queen that y'all know I love. I've already talked about it in this video, and it's only been a couple minutes. I love this sponge. So anything hailing from that sponge, I had to check out. So we will be blending it out with this little guy right here and seeing what the dealio is. So let's go in. Let's swatch. Oh my God. Those are the two items on my face. Those are going to be the two items. Probably should have picked a different foundation, Paige. This is going to be real stark difference, but that's okay. I only went in with a thin layer. So if we have to, we're just going to put this all over the face and use it as like a really light foundation. I don't know. Guys, don't ask me. Oh yeah. She's light and bright. Oh man. Okay, that's okay. Guys, we can do anything here. And I'm only taking what was on there, like on the actual spatula. I'm not going to dunk back in, and I'm just going to spread it all over just to see. Okay, coverage not bad. Spreadability definitely not bad. We're going to take this tiny little guy, which feels so weird to hold a sponge this small. And we are going to blend her out. Ooh, okay, very pretty. It did say on the website, by the way, underneath of these sponges, it said that you can use them dry if you want like full coverage, which is something you can do, I believe, with any sponge. I personally just don't like working with a dry sponge. I feel like it gets really cakey. I think a wet sponge helps press everything into the skin and helps make everything look really seamless. But you can use these dry if that's what your preferred method is, and they will work. Again, I just don't prefer it. So I wanted to go ahead and bring you guys in. I know I look bizarre right now because of the color difference, but what's getting me about this is it spreads really nicely. It's very smooth in consistency, settling in very nicely, but I feel like it's very, like, it's on the lighter end of medium coverage, which is shocking. I thought this would have a tiny bit more coverage. I'm just gonna build up a little bit more in that eye bag region right there, because y'all know these eye bags do not play, honey. They are here to stay. And I want to really see if this is buildable. Oh, ooh. Ooh, okay, she's building. Oh, and she looks good. Okay, so y'all, I'm looking a little bit crazy right now. Oh my God, what is happening? I am gonna go ahead and use this. Oh, I could probably zoom you guys back out. But I wanted to really see if that coverage would build, and that looks beautiful. Let's like ignore this half of my face. Like, can we just get like a box or something? And like, okay, or not. Let's just cover that side. Okay. Maybe it looks it looks crazy either way. Never mind. Wow. I'm gonna go ahead here and do the rest of the face while you guys wonder what's wrong with me, because I think I've lost my mind. Oh my God. My name is Betty. The logic is erratic. Toys in the attic. I'm Betty. I am Batman. Admit it, guys. You all want to come back to me for all your beauty needs. Subscribe. Okay? Thanks. Please subscribe. I'm gonna need it after this video. I don't think I could have picked a worse foundation for this concealer, because typically this is like the tone I love for concealer, and I really like, now do you see what I'm saying when I thought the foundation was orange? Now does it look orange? And I'm also going to take this concealer and I'm going to use it to kind of shape out, okay, football head, but I'm going to use it to, that's crooked, because that's where I want my nose to be contoured. Okay. As I was saying, I'm going to use this to shape out the rest of my face and also to make sense of my face. So basically I'm going to take and I'm going to blend this all over, and I'm going to go in with my Real Technique sponge because I have a lot of ground to cover, and I'm going to try to make that concealer look a little bit less psychotic than it does right now. So let's do that. Here, let's blend. Ooh, girl, she blends nice. I love the way that this looks on the skin. It looks so smooth. I also love that this is such a blendable concealer. Like, it just moves all over the skin. You don't have to pull it to manipulate it. It just does it on its own, and it looks beautiful. It just very naturally kind of works itself onto the skin and mixes beautifully with other stuff. This is beautiful. And see, now it looks a little bit less odd, right? It just looks like I bronzed a little bit already, right? That's what we're gonna go with. I think it looks good. Fake it till you make it, Paige. Fake it till you make it. Now we're going to move on to the next product, which is these powders. And I'm so excited because I have heard beautiful things about these. So I have them in two different shades. I have the shade Lavender and the shade Butter. And oh my God, this packaging is gorgeous. Like, I've seen pictures of it online. How big is my Maybelline Fit Me? Well, maybe it's just like the size. Why does that seem so giant? But it's really not that giant. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm excited. Ooh, lavender is like straight up white with a hint of purple, which by definition is lavender. Oh my God, Paige, go home. You're drunk. So I'm going on here and I'm reading about these powders on the Fenty website, and it says that these are a superfine weightless loose setting powder curated in 8 shades to perfect and extend makeup wear for that filtered photo ready finish on lock. And I'm like, okay, lock me in, yo. Now, as I said before, I have both powders, Lavender and Butter, and one of the things I love about the shade range for these powders is the way that she broke them down is that they go for light, medium, tan, and deep skin tones, and there's a powder for the skin tone, and then there's a powder for brightening that skin tone. So for example, it says under Lavender, brightening light skin tone, and then under Butter, it just says for light skin tones. So they kind of give you an option that'll work for the skin tone as well as one that would work to like bring it out and to highlight any given area, which I think is really cool because especially when you get down into the medium deep skin tones, it's good to know that she kind of thought that part through so people know, hey, if I'm tan, this is a good color for me. If I want to highlight, I can use this. Or maybe I'm tan, but I'm on the lighter side of tan. So you know what I mean? Like, she really found a good way to work that into the powder, which I think is cool. So I'm excited to go in and play around with these and see if they do just that, because right about now, girl, I'm needing all the help I can get. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to shake some powder of the lavender shade down into this cup. Oh, I shook about 4 cups, so that's cool. I'm sorry. I just keep dipping into it and I don't even feel anything. It's air. It's actually air. What? This is the most finely milled powder I think I've ever touched. Like, this is up there with an Hourglass powder. Oh, it's literally blurring the skin on my hand. Okay, let's try this one. I'm like, yay. Okay. Wow, those are not so far off. Really? Like, they're both very light, very bright, which I love. So this is the butter shade over here. It has a really nice, like, natural, almost luminous quality to it, but it's not luminous as in it's giving off a shine. It just looks very healthy and very glowy on the skin. So that's butter and that's lavender. They look real similar. Let's go ahead and apply them to the under eyes. I'm excited. Okay, what do I want to do? I think I kind of want to try both eyes. I think I'm going to start with butter, and I'm going to grab my other mini sponge here, and I'm going to take the flat edge and I'm going to pat out my creases, which y'all know. Oh, bitch. Can you guys see those? Now you can. Those are my creases. Like, I crease instantly. I would never hold a concealer accountable for that because I literally crease every 12 seconds. So it's not a big deal. But just so you guys know the tea, they creased on me big time. So I'm going to repat out this side. And I'm going to take this budded little fuzzy end here and I'm going to dip into the butter shade. Ooh, I'm going to pack that all up under my eye. Ooh. Ooh, kind of smells good. Okay, kind of smells like a vanilla cupcake. Oh, your girl loves a good cupcake. Why do you think we bronze those double chins so much, y'all? It's not just Doritos hanging out in there. It's 30 years worth of cupcakes. Okay, so guys, I'm going to tell you right now, that powder is beautiful. It is so light and bright on my under eye. But now I am going to go ahead, I'm just going to wipe this sponge off on my hand here, so I can test out the lavender powder, which I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. I'm going to go ahead, take this end, pat out those creases. Oh my God, look at it. You see that? Oh my God. I'm going to pat the hell out of those. That's right. My creases are invincible, bitch. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and move you guys out so you can see the difference in the brightness. It isn't that the butter isn't brightening, but compared to the lavender, it's like ice under this side, like a beautiful, almost ice white look, versus this side, which is a much more natural but still highlighted look under the eyes. Both sides are looking stunning, might I say. Now, as far as setting the rest of the face, more than likely I would never use this lavender powder to do that, just because, hello, that's very bright for the entire face. But I am curious to take this little guy here and lightly dust it over my face and see how it looks. So I think we're going to do that next, except where's my brush? So I'm going to grab my Sigma F30 brush, and I'm going to grab the butter shade here, and I'm going to very lightly kind of tap this on the brush, tap it back off, and then I'm going to very lightly kind of puff it onto the skin, like so. I'm not going to go in super heavy, super crazy, make it cakey. I just want to go in and see how it sets the rest of my makeup. Uh-oh, I didn't check the Hulk. Oh my God, I bet you the Hulk is so creasy right now. 1 second, please. Yep, hold on. We forgot the Hulk. We have to pat him out. And then we're going to use this velvety butt right here, and we're going to set him down. Okay, now we're going to get back at it here and set the rest of the face. Okay, so we have a layer of powder down, and oh my God, it looks beautiful. Like, Pores, who is she? I've never heard of her. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited. I'm going to go ahead real quick, like, I want to add some bronzer and some blush. And I want to come back on and see if I can use these to kind of brighten the under eye and brighten and like shape up a contour. So hold on just a second. I'll be right back. I want to throw on a little bit more because I want to keep playing. I'm not done yet. I'm never done. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Okay, so I went ahead, I added on just my bronzer and my blush, and then I threw a little bit of my bronzer also in the crease. And here's what I'm loving so far. This is such a smoothing, like airbrush effect powder. The way that it goes on the skin, I figured out why it looks so beautiful. It's because this is so light and pillowy and fluffy. This is like if you took flour and sifted it and made every single grain of flour a quarter of its original size. That is how fine and fluffy and airy this is. Like when you go to stick your finger in this, it like you can't even tell that you're touching it because it's so airy, and it settles into your pores and your skin the same way. Like, it just settles right in and it fits into every nook and cranny because it's so fine. That's why it looks so beautiful on the skin, and that's why I'm loving it. So I'm really excited. Now, I do have a couple of thoughts so far as the colors go. I think that the lavender side looks beautiful under the eye. It does give me a nice bright effect, but I actually think it might be a little too bright for me to set my eyes with. That would be a powder that I think I'd have to go in if I was looking really deep and like dark under the eyes. Then I could go in with that powder and kind of pull it forward a little bit. But as far as actually setting concealer, I feel like no matter what combination I were to go in with, this is a little bit too bright. It's a little too lavender, I think is what lavender, which is the name, ironically enough. But that tone is just a little too icy for me to set my under eye with, I think is the moral of the story. However, this butter shade, this is it right here. This is beautiful. I'm actually going to go ahead. I want to take some of this and see if when I run it along like my jawline, I went in with my bronzer and I kind of went a little bit haphazard with it just to see if I could use this to really chisel out and get like a nice crisp bright line under there. So I'm just going to take some of it and kind of do one of these and just run it down. That's going to be intense. Girl, if this works, I will be so excited. And I'm just going to use this to brighten up all the areas of my face, which lately has been like right in here. Who am I kidding? Lately. For the last 2 years. Your girl gets real dark around the mouth. Oh, and it looks like my camera battery is going to die. So I'm just going to let this set for like a couple of minutes. I'm going to go change my battery and I'll be right back. And we're going to dust it away and see the beauty that ensues, hopefully. But until then, I'm going to go show everyone how beautiful I look. I'll be right back. And we're back. Boy, I look just as good as I remember. So let's go ahead and wipe this off. It's been a couple of minutes. Ooh, nice and bright. Okay, this looks real pretty. Dang, yo. Wow, that's gorgeous. I really do prefer the undertone of the butter versus the lavender. I think it looks not only more natural, but almost more highlighted. Now, I will throw out there right now, y'all, I am not the fairest of them all. There are a ton of people out there that are way paler than myself. And if that is you and you fall into that category, or you just like to wear your makeup super pale, I tend to over bronze, over blush, and overdo everything. So I can't speak to that. But if you do love to have a like really bright pale skin, then this lavender powder is the ticket. It is so beautiful and so bright. Again, for myself, it's a little too brightening on like an already pale under eye, which I had going on because of this concealer. But if I was trying to brighten up my skin at all, I would definitely give it a shot because it is so freaking bright. Like, so bright. I'm like actually shocked. I've never had a powder, especially one like this, that was not only so finely milled, but had such a way of brightening and staying so bright. Typically, when I go in with a setting powder, it'll make my eyes look bright for a minute, maybe for a couple minutes. When I go in with bronzer, it might look a little bright, but by the time I'm done with my blush, it's automatically kind of dulled down to the rest of my skin tone, and they don't stand out nearly as much. And this powder is like holding steady as ridiculously bright, which is amazing. I'm actually going to go ahead real quick. I'm going to just set my face, throw on some highlight and mascara, nothing too crazy. And I want to give all of this a chance to really settle into my skin, just so I can see how it feels, how it settles, how everything works with the concealer. As of right now, I haven't noticed any creasing or cracking or anything. Like, literally my skin looks like freaking porcelain. So let me go ahead. I'm going to set everything, see if it gets weird, and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I am back. I went ahead, I threw on obviously just some mascara and then a little bit of Estee Lauder 140 Naked City on my lips. It is one of my favorite nude lipsticks of all time, if you were wondering. It's stunning. So here are my thoughts on the concealer and the powder, and I definitely have some staunch thoughts going on. First of all, you'll notice my eye is leaking right here. I apologize. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just like leaking eyes. I don't know. So to go through the first part of what I'm thinking, I actually went ahead and zoomed you guys in. I don't know if you can see it, but the shadow right here on both sides of my under eye bags is very, very stark with this concealer. And I feel like when I went in with the first pass, I had that medium coverage. I said, okay, we're going to build it up. Build it up, and it did build, and it looked beautiful. However, when I went in and I set it with these powders, for some reason, it did cause me to lose coverage through here. And I'm thinking that that is a result of the concealer and not the powders, because the powders didn't do it anywhere else on the rest of my face. They went in, they settled down, they look beautiful. My skin actually does have a beautiful focus, like soft focus effect, which I love. I love the way that the powders settled down. However, in this area, I really lost all my coverage, and I don't know why. And the only thing I can think of is that it did somehow mix with this, and maybe it just lifted or shifted the pigments in the concealer just enough that it revealed a little darkness through here. So as far as the concealer, it's not my favorite as far as a full coverage formula. As far as the way it blended out, I think it was beautiful. I loved the way that it kind of sheared out over my whole face. And as far as this shade goes, I actually like it more than I thought I would. If I were to use it again, it would be mixed or maybe just as like an inner corner blended down with another concealer. But I love the consistency. It's just not for a day where I want full coverage, which is part of the reason I went in with a medium coverage today. That's why you can still see some of my acne spots and scarring coming through, because I had a feeling about this one. I just knew. I was like, there is going to be something about this that's not going to build and really give me that nice full coverage I love. So if I were to use this again, it would be one of two ways. Like I said, either up toward the center, blended in to give me a nice bright inner eye, and not so much for coverage, because again, I don't think this is going to give me that full coverage I like. But if I am having a day where I want less coverage or even medium coverage, I would go in with this and give it a shot on the under eye just to like give me that nice bright wide-eyed effect. And I think that it could complete the look and make it very doll-like, make it very ethereal, but I don't think this is something I would reach for on like that day-to-day. Now, I'm not opposed to grabbing another shade of this at some point here in the near future and trying it out just to see if it is the shade, but I really don't think it is. I have a feeling it's the actual fluidity and the consistency and the pigmentation of this concealer that I'm just not obsessed with as far as coverage and the way, again, that it kind of sloughed off. I will test this as well, though, with some of my other setting powders just to make sure that's not the issue, but again, I don't think it is. I've tested a bazillion concealers at this point, and I like to think that I know my way around them, and I feel like I think it's this. Like, I'm about 95% sure it's this guy, but I will keep working with it, testing it out, blending it with other products, so I don't hate it. It's not my home run. Now, I do want to also drift in real quick to these little sponges. I don't hate them. I don't think that they're worth $18, which was my suspicion. My biggest thing with them was I had to try them because, like I told you, I love the original Fenty sponge so much that I had to know if these were worth it. And I think they're good if you're really into like getting in here and giving yourself like a good precise line or blend or whatever. But for me, I'm not into that. I tend to just take my one giant Real Technique sponge and really just and do the whole face with one guy right here. So for me, oh my God, I dropped it. No. So for me, I don't think these are necessarily worth it. Truth be told, I can already see that I'm going to lose them, but they are a descendant of the Mama sponge, and I had to see if I liked them. So the quality isn't bad. Even the point of them isn't bad. I just, they're not for me. They're just like one more step or one more item that I will lose. But these powders, y'all, these are kind of getting me spooked. I'm really loving them. I didn't think I would like them as a setting powder, but there's something about the way that they really just settle onto the skin, and they manage to set my whole face, and they feel so lightweight and airy on the skin. It's ridiculous. Like, I can't feel it. And for someone that has to powder their entire face and still have normal skin, that's a lot. Like, I think if you have normal to even dry skin, you would like this powder because it's so fine and lightweight that it doesn't grab to texture. It doesn't grab on anything, really. It doesn't even grab your pores. Like, it just settles down. It's so just... It's beautiful the way that it sits into the skin, on the skin, even the areas of your skin that are more textured, more terrained. It doesn't have an issue there, which I'm really impressed by. Truth be told, when I first touched this powder, I thought for sure I was going to have an issue in this area with it like clinging, because sometimes when you go in with a really fine powder, if it's not milled correctly, it will cling and drag and actually emphasize your texture and kind of make you look dry or patchy. And this didn't at all over my more textured areas, like right here on this side. It didn't do it on my forehead. Like, it's just a beautiful soft velvet feel to the skin. Okay, stop. So this is an unofficial update of all of these products because I have continued to work with them now for the last week, and I have some thoughts. So the first thing I'm going to say, the concealer, obviously I watched the footage back. It is far too light for me, number one. Number two, it still should have had a touch more coverage than it did. So I'm not a big fan of that, but today I mixed it in with my Born This Way foundation or concealer under the eyes, and it worked a lot better. So using it as a brightening agent, I think was good. I don't think think it's what I would reach for on the day-to-day if I wanted coverage, because again, I didn't find that it did a good enough job in my under eye bags. And even right now, you can see that I don't have any gray. That's mascara, so don't mind that. But over here, there's no under eye like gray crease happening. And that was something I was having a huge issue with when I used the concealer before. No matter what I did it, or no matter how many times I used it by itself, I just couldn't get that area to cover. And then when I did, it would lift. So I think that's huge under the eye. I do think it works really nice as a brightening option for the inner portion of the eye. It worked great for that. Now, I will say if you find it in the correct color, like I probably should, it might work a little bit better, but still I don't know that it's one that I would reach for, just because the formula isn't something that I was particularly loving. But it does sit down. It's not moving a ton, which is great. And overall, I don't have any complaints on it. I definitely like the concealer in certain aspects, but not for so much on my full coverage days. So that's the concealer. Now the powder today I used, and this is at the end of the day. So all of this has been on for like 8-9 hours at this point. And what I will say is that the powder is good for me, but only as a finishing powder. It is a powder that I can add at the very end of my makeup routine to like smooth things over, similar to how I use the Hourglass. But it is not something like up in this region when I use it to just set my face all over. I just feel like it doesn't do it for me. So as a finishing powder, as a good way to smooth out pores, again, as a good way to really like finish off a look overall, it's pretty. It adds a nice luminosity, fills in pores, like I said. That sort of thing I think is very valuable. But as an actual setting powder, it just doesn't have enough ass for me to love it as much as I would like to. So that's kind of my wrap up. Again, I've only been using them for probably a week or so at this point, going in, trying them with different products, but I wanted to throw that in this video because I feel like when I filmed that, and the whole time ever since, I've been thinking back to how everything worked and didn't work, and I was like, they need a better update than that, because even as you can see, like it's been an entire day and I feel like my pores look so much better now than they did in that video. So I think there's a lot to be said with the way that that fineness of the powder just like sinks down, settles into the pores, and doesn't look good at the end of the day for me. But if you don't have a ton of texture, maybe it's different for you. I'm not sure, but for me, it just didn't have enough power to like withstand not only texture and pores, but oil overall. So anyways, those are my thoughts. I just wanted to go ahead and throw them in here for you if you were curious and wanted a little bit of an update. Now back to the end of the video. And that is it, you guys. That's my run through of the new stuff from Fenty and giving you guys kind of my first knee-jerk reaction to it. I will, of course, continue to work with these, play with them. Overall, I think it was a very positive experience. I love that no matter what, Fenty brings their A game with shade range, with inclusivity, and I love that. So let me know down below, what do you guys think of this launch? Are you excited? Did you want to try it? Did you try it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Because I have yet to find anybody that was like, God, I hated this. This was awful and this was why. So if you had that experience, leave that down below because I would be fascinated to know what you thought. And if you have not yet, you can also subscribe and turn on your notifications because y'all, I put up new videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 5 days a week between 6 and 7 a.m. my time. So they go up bright and early, just in time for you to get ready, brush your teeth, wash your hair, do your makeup, send your kids off to school, go to work, be at work. I don't care, but nice and early, just so you guys have something fun you can start your day off with that's always makeup related, whether it's old, new, reviews, love it, hate it, skincare, it doesn't matter. We talk about everything. So as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate it, and I appreciate all of your thoughts and love and opinion down in the comments, whether it's on this video or a video you want to see or whatever the case is. I always love hearing from you guys, and that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I have to do it all at once or it's no deal. Wait, what? But before I dive into my foundation, I'm hot, sticky, sweet, from my head to my feet, yeah. Ooh, okay. And it's going up at the earliest hour possible. And if you have not yet, you can also subscribe. I do put up new videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So for me, I don't think these are worth it, but I also come on, your mom, baby, come on, get it on. And I want it. I don't know the words, but I'm singing it anyways. Okay, so I went, came in hot there, Paige. Came in way too hot. Okay. But if I am looking for if I am wearing a day, wait, what? I'm wearing a day, like a coat. But this banana shade, I am really impressed with. I think that it looks, oh my God, why am I so bloated? Oh. Legitimately, if you were to look at me from the side, you'd be like, wow, I'm glad she's having triplets. Cool. Wow.